How's it going, guys? Got a game for you against lilxjuancho. I believe this was taken from my live stream some time ago, and yeah, here we go. So we didn't really have anything that resembled a proper lead on either of our teams, unless he was running like a wall chomp variant with stealth rocks or whatever. But I myself on my team didn't really have much, so I figured I wanted to try out this Rotom. Wrote it out on paper, and it looked good. So I figured if I was gonna get some use out of it, I'd do it now. This is a Para-Flinch Fusion Rotom, one of the very few Pokemon in the game that's actually able to do this. So what I'm going to do is get the Confuse Ray, get the T-Wave going, and Rotom's type is changed in 5th gen, so the Ghost is replaced with whatever the appliance is. So like Heat Rotom is Fire Electric, and Fan Rotom is now Flying Electric, so like Zapdos. It actually does get Stab on the Air Slash as well, which is very cool. It means it's going to do a little more, and it's going to be able to take down its opponents easier and whatnot. So I'm behind a sub. He is paralyzed, confused, and I'm just fishing for whatever will make him not move, and I can whittle him down. So I get 2 flinches in a row, not really what I was aiming for. Speaking of aiming, I actually end up missing that air slash. He snaps out of confusion, but the 3rd safety net is in place, and he ends up getting paralyzed. So I got a sub up, gonna go for another air slash, and I missed 2 in a row, which I don't think has ever happened to me in the history of ever. I think there's like a 2.5% chance of that happening, missing 2 in a row, which is unfortunate. But yeah, he ends up killing himself off from Life Orb, and I'm back to where I started at the beginning of the match. I got full health. The only thing that's different is I'm down like maybe like 5 or 6 power points. But he brings in a Scarf Chomp. Don't know it's a Scarf Chomp at this point, but you know, most chomps I see do tend to be that. So I stay in, see what he's gonna lock himself in on if he does happen to be that, and you know, if he was going to set up, I could just Confuse Ray him. But he switches out, expecting me not to want to take another Dragon Claw, because I can't really do much to it outside of Air Slash. So I end up going to my Cobalion as we make a double switch to a Dusknoir. I don't want to get burned at all because Cobalion is kind of cool. So going to go out to my Victini to take the Will-O-Wisp, and he does go for it. So does not affect me. I actually like Fire as a physical type just because of that. And with V-Create on this guy, as you're going to see in a little bit, it does work. It does work. It wrecks shop. So go for Zen Headbutt. Does a decent chunk of damage given the fact that it's a Dusknoir, but I don't know what else is on his set. I see Will-O-Wisp and Pain Split. I want to see what he's actually going to end up doing to hit me, so I can switch to something accordingly. He's taking my hits really well, so I'm assuming if he does have something that's super effective, it won't end up killing me from that range. And he has Earthquake, and it does a pretty decent chunk. I'll be able to get off 2 more hits given Life Orb and all that. So if I'm going to go for the V-Create, I need to do it now. And from half health, being 180 base power before stab, makes it the most powerful non-suicide move in the game, and that is amazing given what it does to Dusknoir. So running really low on HP as he's going to go ahead and bring in a Volcarona. Very scared of these things ordinarily, because what people like to do is they like to force switches and then set up. But I knew he was going to try setting up on me, and well, I didn't know, but if he killed me right there, he wouldn't have been set up. And if he tried setting up, I know from past experience that this Victini is able to one-shot Volcaronas with V-Create. So that's what I do. He sets up and he pays the price by me taking it out in one hit, which is very sexy coming from Victini. Unfortunately, it's a double down, owned a Life Orb, but I was able to take out 2 things, so not that bad. Got a double switch going on here. I know he has Scarf Chomp, and I have a Latias waiting, but I don't want to bring it out yet. I figure I'll bring out Leafeon, see what he does. He brings out Porygon 2. Unfortunately, I was kind of expecting Conkeldurr, because, you know, I'm physically defensive, and Leafeon and whatnot. But I know they have Ice Beam. I know I can take 1. Given that he's not offensive. Well, he could be offensive with Trace. I was assuming that he wasn't, because most of them in this generation tend to carry Violet and whatnot. So I set up, try to hit it, see how much it does. It does about half, so kind of my fault for bringing a Leafeon in the first place, expecting anything amazing out of it. But what it did is it lowered it to the point where Cobalion can come in and hit it with a close combat, because nothing else on his team is really going to appreciate it that much. So I guess he just leaves it in to die so he can get a safe switch in, which is alright. P2's a pain in my ass anyway, so I don't mind seeing it gone at this point in the match. Anyway, I think he's got this and his Chomp left, so I'm going to go ahead and switch out, predicting the Mach Punch, as he actually ends up going for the payback. So very risky play. If I If I'd have decided to stay in, predict him going for the bulk up, and I went for a Swords Dance, he could have activated my Justified, give me another attack boost, but given this late in the match, I really did not want to predict like that, especially against it. And I know I have something that can deal with it, which is this Rotom. So he switches out, not wanting to take the Air Slash, goes to Chomp, takes over half thanks to a crit, as you're going to see in a little bit. The crit really doesn't end up mattering. He locks himself in on Stone Edge, though, so I can take advantage of this. Main reason for foddering off Rotom was to see what he would lock himself in on. Wouldn't have been Earthquake, but yeah, if he did lock himself in on Stone Edge, I got this guy who has fantastic natural defense and is able to quad resist that as well. So he doesn't want to stay in and go for that, so he ends up switching out, and it ends up eating the close combat. Takes it rather well, you know, given that it's stab coming off of me, and he's probably running max HP and all that, as all of them tend to. So gonna go for the close combat again. He did expect to live, but unfortunately I do get a crit here. I don't think max of damage, min-max would have fluctuated that much to the point where it would have killed him, so the only way I could have killed him was a crit. And yeah, that does matter, and that's really unfortunate, because now that Chomp is his only one left, he has to pick a move to try to take out my my Cobalion and my Latias at the same time. Because if he locks himself in on Earthquake, then he's hosed against Latias. If he locks himself in on something to try to hit Latias, it won't end up hurting Cobalion all that well. So whatever his coverage is, it's not really going to end up working here, as I take him out with an Iron Head, and that is going to be the game for today, MoshPit. So if you guys enjoyed, go ahead and rate, comment, sub, do your thing. Both links will be in the description if I can find them, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.